We are back. It's the Deferred Collusion Podcast. It's me, Jesse Rowe, joined as always by Los Angeles native and just all around good guy, Branden Bullinger. What's up, buddy? How are you?
My man, Jesse Rowe, how are you doing? The pride of Northridge, California, the kid himself.
Northridge.
I don't know. Where are you from, dude?
Sherman Oaks.
Sherman jokes, whatever,
Sherman
dude.
jokes. Are you still in the South Gay?
Oh, dude, how dare you, dude? Diss my city. I am in the Bay, the South Bay, but it's a good day. I did not mean to rhyme. I'm excited. A lot of good baseball this weekend so far. We are recording this on Sunday, June 9th. It's a beautiful day outside.
Yeah.
A lot of good baseball slated for the day. Slotted for the day? Slated for the day.
Slated. You're
Slated.
like, what you just did, you're throwing a slutter. You know, and the pitcher, they're combining the slider, the cutter, and the slurve. And they call it slutter. That's what you just did. You're combining words. You know, it's fine. Slighted.
I love it. That was like one of my favorite things, like visiting in the Philippines. It's resto bars or a thing. It's like a restaurant and a bar, but it's a restaurant. Right. Like, I love that.
In other words, a restaurant with a bar.
Yeah. I'd say, but think about it. We say bar and grill all the time.
Is that unique to the Philippines? A resto bar? So what? They just don't call it a bar grill, or they don't.
Yeah, it's not a bar and grill. It's a resto bar.
Interesting. So they're just not. It's not that normal for every restaurant to have a bar. Is that?
I have no idea, but it's like the same thing. Like, is it not that weird for a bar to have a grill? Like, do we got to call it out? Like, right. I don't know. Or a grill to be at a bar? Like, if you go to a Chili's style place, like, oh, it's a bar and grill, but like,
right.
You're going there for the grill.
Every restaurant has a bar. It's like the bar is the place where you eat when you can't get reservations. You know, you just
there you go. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Deferred Collusion Podcast. You are dialed in to the hottest news topics, controversies, and conspiracies in baseball today.
Yeah.
Again, that is our beautiful host, Jesse Rowe. I am also said host, Branden Bullinger. And Jesse, let's talk Dodgers, Yankees. Let's just jump right into the most exciting series of the season, I would say. Dodgers
so far, for sure,
this point have taken 2 of 3. Game 1 was a bit of a pitcher's duel. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. A lot of people were kind of doubting him, Jesse, joking about that massive contract. Hey, he's never pitched a day in the big leagues. The pros aren't the pros. Maybe some of the same naysayers about the Negro League stats being incorporated into Major League stats. But
we don't want to go there again.
Either way, I noticed a little correlation. And if we're not conspiratorially minded, then I don't know what we are. Anyways, it's been a great series. Yohan Ramirez steals the show in game 3. I think a lot of people expected me to say Teoscar Hernandez, who, don't get me wrong, has got to be living rent-free in Yankees fans' heads right this very second.
Oh, I have some stats that I'm ready to pull up for that.
Oh, man, that will be a blast. But, Jesse, I just wanted to touch on my boy, Yohan Ramirez. I don't know if it's Yohan, but don't mess with the yo, dude.
Do not.
Give me those stats, Jesse. Since May, what was it?
When Doc
Rivers.
Let me just preface everything right now. I am a little hungover. So Branden, you did take care of some of the stats this morning. So I do appreciate you. I do appreciate you coming in hot with that.
It's what we do.
The game 1 was very much just like Yamamoto shoving, and then nobody could get anything done. Very frustrating game. Ended up being a very elating game, or very relieving. I felt way better about the game at the end of it, obviously, than I did at any other point of it. I was like, it kind of made, I kind of knew game 2 was going to happen after we finally were able to pull out game 1. So with Yohan Ramirez, he got pulled aside by Dave Roberts. When was it? It was what day was that?
May 26th, I believe.
And it was, he gets pulled off the mound. He had a bad outing. He thinks he's going to get cut, basically.
Flunked a couple guys, some walks, it was tough in Cincinnati.
So he clearly thought that he was going to be cut.
He was close to being DFA'd. He was definitely a DFA candidate right there. Yeah.
And he's turned that moment went a little viral, obviously, and he has turned his season around. So since May 27th, you sent me the stats. It's pretty incredible. Since that moment, he has 6 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, and a 0 ERA.
Wow.
Goes out and gets the save in a 12 inning. Was it 12th inning or 13th inning? I forget.
The 11th inning.
It was 11. It was 11. Okay, I'm thinking
the
of old
11th.
school baseball when they used to get to 12 or 13 innings.
And fun fact, I believe that was the first game of the season to go 11 innings without a run being scored.
Okay.
Or to enter the 11th without a run being scored.
So he has to go up. He has to face the heart of the Yankees order. Dodgers obviously got the 2-run double from Teoscar, who was going to talk about, but gives up. He strikes out Verdugo on 4 pitches. He gives up a hit to Judge, which whatever, scores an unearned run, and then he gets Stanton and he gets Rizzo to pop out to end the game. I think this dude legitimately might be a little bit insane, because he goes after the pop out, which you're not supposed to do as a pitcher. I mean, he clearly was he was honed in, like he's pitching at Yankee Stadium and he's going after the ball. He almost blew the game there because, or he almost blew the play because he almost bumped into Will Smith, who ended up making the catch. But you kind of you could see Will Smith kind of look at Yohan like, dude, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, take it easy, bud.
Yeah, but his reaction, Yohan's reaction when he caught the ball and the game was over, he was so fired up. He was just so happy. Think about what a turnaround that is. From going from thinking you're gonna get DFA'd to closing out a game for the Dodgers at Yankee Stadium against the Yankees in that lineup. Gotta be a good feeling.
Absolute visceral moment. You can just see it on his face. And, I feel like we don't hear it quite as much, but maybe in the 90s, early 2000s, it was more, hey, once these guys make it to the bigs, they don't care anymore. This is just, a profession for them. That's all heart and guts on the field. Even, kind of making that overzealous play. You'll love to see it. I know we're going to talk about some more emotional plays this week, a little later on in the show, but I don't know. It's amazing to see these guys. One day they're fighting for their life. The next time you see them out, they could be the toast of the town. And that is kind of the do or die of baseball. You're the hero one day, you're the jerk the next. And in this case, it's reverse. And we're seeing him. We're seeing Yohan just deliver. There's no other way to say it. He's just been nuts for the Dodgers in some big spots. And shout out for Doc for not just trusting in your guy, but putting him in a situation to succeed. And you can't ask for anything more as a competitor, as an athlete, is just you want to get your number called to get that opportunity. So tip of the cap. It's been an exciting series, but game 2 was exciting as well.
I don't know if you want to say about Doc
game 1 real quick.
Before we go to game 2, about what you just said about Doc. I think this is why Dave Roberts is the manager of the Dodgers, is because of moments like this. He's not there because he's going to call a game beautifully like an old school umpire is. He's really honed in on the analytics. He's really honed in on what's the right matchup for the right situation. He understands all of the matchups and the numbers. He's an excellent communicator. And Dodger fans, I think, miss this sometimes. Tons of Dodger fans I know that want him fired, that hate him. They're missing it. That clubhouse needs a constant communicator, because you're going to have guys like this. There's a constant cycle of players. You've built a core around 4 or 5 stars, and then everybody else is going to be constantly cycling. You need to have great communicators for everybody to maintain the proper perspective. And that's why Doc is there, because he's really good at that. He's the best at it. And I love him for it. A lot of Dodger fans don't, but I think that this is kind of his bread and butter as a coach. And you get the most out of a guy like Yohan Ramirez. And by the way, the Dodgers need Yohan Ramirez right now, because they don't have Gratterall. They need somebody to step up and sort of handle that role, to fill in when Evan Phillips needs a day off, to fill in when Treinen needs a day. Treinen had already pitched. Hudson had already pitched. They needed him. So
shouts out to my boy. What's his name? Bando. I think we got him from the
Anthony Banda, yeah.
Anthony Banda. Wow, another guy that's just been lights out. I think he might have been a DFA. Correct me if I'm wrong, or was he just a
This
trade?
is what the Dodgers do. They just pick up scraps and they turn
It's
it in.
pretty silly.
Yeah.
Another big moment from that game, though, that was close to being very costly. Kike Hernandez, mic'd up, talking to the was it the MLB Tonight?
Apple TV.
Apple TV, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Commits an error while mic'd up. It was
a bad inning for Kike.
That was a bad one. He would end up getting on base the top half of the next inning on an error by was it Gleyber Torres, the second baseman?
Yeah, and then he got picked off.
At first. After, and it was a back-to-back pickoff play. So they had just thrown there. So it was on his mind. I believe it was Rick Monday on the Dodgers broadcast on AM 570. Shout out. Got me through a lot of traffic over the years, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I've won some Dodger tickets calling in.
Oh, no way. I've never won a damn thing. So anyway,
they sit you up in the nosebleed though. It's like the $13 tickets, They
oh man, so parking is more expensive than your ticket.
Exactly.
Oh man. But yeah, he eviscerated Kike, said that's the kind of play that can get you sat down, especially when you're hitting under Mendoza line. And an error and a pickoff play is tough. But again, Doc being Doc gives Kike the start in game 2, and he does hit a home run. I think he had a couple of hits in that game. So I don't know. I think you made some great points when you were talking about old Dave Roberts, but he's been the Dodgers manager now for 9 seasons, if you can believe it.
Speaking of that play, I was watching that play as it happened. They're talking to him. The ground ball comes to him. I'm going to give him a pass. Dontrell Willis, I think is who it was, who was on the call.
D-Train.
I think it was him, is talking while Kike is fielding the ball. He's like, I'll let you field this ball first. As the ball is coming at him, like literally a split second before. And I'm like, dude, yeah, you have somebody in your ear talking when you're trying to make a play. Like, we can give him a pass on that. I think that this is like stupid. There should absolutely, like, that should not be allowed. Because what is it? Do they get paid for these interviews? I think
they did. I saw something, and I'm quoting Reddit, so forgive me if this isn't completely accurate.
Okay, so we haven't fact checked this.
We haven't fact checked it. We haven't ran it through a very, very vigorous fact checking program.
Right.
But I believe that players get paid $10,000 and up to $15,000 during the postseason
to do on-field interviews.
To do an on-field interview, yeah.
Okay.
But all's well that ends well if you're a Dodger fan. I know, tough couple days for the Yankees.
Well, it's all because of one man so far.
It is true. Well, hold on. Some great pitching performances, because this was Yamamoto, a white hot Yankees offense coming into this series. And the Dodgers, I believe, coming into the series were actually under 500 in their last 30 games or something like that.
They've been a 500 team like the past month. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been looking tough since the Muncy injury. It seems like the offense is really not really gotten together at the same time. There's been an emergence of Jason Hayward again, which has been exciting. Miggy Rowe continues to hit, and there's been a little bit of an awakening from Chris Taylor, but still a lot to be desired from the bottom of the lineup. I know, I'm just being
I know. You're being nice.
But game 2, Teoscar Hernandez continues his torrid pace.
Well, game 1, he got the big hit. So he got already like the villain in Yankee Stadium. He gets the big double. One thing I want to mention about Yamamoto really quick, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but in his 7 innings, what was noticeable is how he was using his fastball. And this is something that Dodgers have been trying to tweak, because his fastball has been getting lit up this year. It's really the only pitch that he's really been giving a lot of hits off of, because he's very used to pitching it down in the zone in Japan. That's how he was when he pitched to contact. They're not a heavy home run hitting league, so he pitched down in the zone. Whereas in MLB, there's a lot of scooping and lifting of the ball, right? So there's a lot of like that swing trajectory. What is it called? I'm blanking on the word right. Launch angle. A lot of those balls down in the zone get turned into like hard line drives, right? So he tossed a great outing. He went heavy on his four seam and he started locating it higher in the zone and utilized his secondaries to induce more weak contact. So in previous outings, he'd be pitching it down. In this outing, he was really focusing his fastball in the upper part of the zone, and then everything else was down. So he was really I think he's really starting to like understand how his stuff works in the majors with the different sides of the ball and everything. So I actually think Yamamoto is he's really starting to figure it out, how his mechanics work with major league hitting.
Yeah, and he has inserted himself in Rookie of the Year
Absolutely. Oh,
conversation.
he's one of the top candidates, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think he's top 3, top 5 candidate right now. I still think Shota is the clear front runner.
Right.
Skeens is making an argument. I know
Not yet. Skeens is going to need to have like 15 more great starts for that to happen. But I know what you mean.
I don't know. He's just so hot right now. The big on big comment. Shouts out Pittsburgh. You got an exciting team right now.
Yeah.
Please, ownership, don't just trade him for parts. Anyways,
that Shohei matchup, the first 2 at bats was so sick. Striking
so rad
on 3 pitches and then getting.
I mean, I'm a diehard Dodger homer, and those first, I don't know, 2 innings was pretty. He was chopping up those Dodgers hitters, dude, like a head of lettuce, turning him into a cold cut salad guy. It was nasty.
Yeah,
but
it was disgusting.
From the Dodgers perspective, let's flip over to the Yankees. Yankees fans, I know you guys have been lamenting your boy Juan Soto being on the IL for the first time in a couple seasons. I think it's the first time
the IL.
I believe is he on the IL? I thought
I don't
he was.
think so. I think he's just out of the lineup. I don't think he's on the
okay,
IL.
but he is out of the lineup for the 3rd day in a row. We are recording at about 1 p.m. We started about 12:30, I guess. Pacific time on Sunday. So a couple hours before start time of the Yankees-Dodgers game at 4 p.m. Pacific. But Juan Soto is out of the lineup again, and it does feel like there's a gaping hole in their offense. No disrespect to Stanton, but it feels like with a guy like Soto ahead of Judge, who's so dangerous, that if you make any mistake to Judge, who is
I think he hits 3rd.
I'm a Shohei guy, but Judge is the most dangerous hitter in baseball. I'm sorry. Amazing. That's just what it is. He blasted 2 home runs the other night. Looked like he just flicked them into the outfield. It was insane.
I think Soto might actually hit 3rd in that lineup, be behind Judge. I'm not 100% sure. I could be wrong. I'm looking at it right now. Oh no, you're right. He was hitting ahead of Judge. Okay. I don't know if that
fact check me, brother.
I don't know if that differs based on lefty righty. I don't know how the matchups work.
But I mean, not to poo-poo on Stanton. He's got 15 home runs. That's nothing to snark at. That's I think top 5 in the league right now.
Yeah.
But that average has dipped. He's had a couple of bad at bats. He had one that sent Yankee Stadium crazy.
Dude, I thought that was a grand slam. When I was watching it, I thought he hit a grand slam.
Oh, I jumped up. Me and my 7-month-old daughter were just like, fuck. She didn't say fuck, but
that's her first word, right?
Yeah. Well, it's her right as a goddamn American. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, my God.
Anyways. But no, this is all a long way for me to go. How much do you think Juan Soto's stock is rising right now? I mean, if I'm a Yankees fan, I'm going, make him a part owner, like do whatever you got to do to keep him in pinstripes. He's going to be 20. This is going to be his 26th season. I don't even know. He's so young. If you're looking at what Yamamoto got at 25, 325 million over 12 years, I believe. If Soto's going to get 12 years, does he get 500 million?
So he's 25. He turns 26 in October. I think you're looking at a 14-year deal. Very likely. Something like that. Something that puts him at 40 years old.
To help to spread the money out.
Yeah, that's sort of, but I still think it'll be something like in the 400 million range.
Do you think he hits the fives? I mean, again, Boris client,
I'm saying like a minimum. I think that if it doesn't start with a 4, I think it's probably gonna get shut down, especially being a Boris client. Here's the thing.
What did he pass up from the Nats?
I know that Snell and Montgomery are leaving Boris. I think I know Montgomery is. I saw
Montgomery already did. Montgomery
right.
already did.
Snell might be. I'm not 100% sure on that. But a
Oh,
lot of
Jordan Montgomery,
Pete Alonso, I think should do the exact same thing because they're not going to have
if I may
time.
interject real quick.
What?
Jordan Montgomery got booed in his last start in Arizona.
Not good. The Boris, there's a reason why.
Worse stats than Bumgarner as a rattlesnake out there. It was one of the D-backs. And that was, I forget what it is, but it's a number starting with the 6 ERA.
Yeah, it's bad.
And I'm sorry, but this, I kind of don't even want to put it on the player. This is just what's happening in our sport with bad representation. And I know Boris was doing it all for the almighty dollar to get his guys what he felt they deserved. So it's tough to be too angry at him. But my God, like their stock, him and Snell, their stock are just on fire right now. It's a nightmare scenario if you're Blake Snell or Jordan Montgomery.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do to right that ship. So for Soto, I wonder if he feels that he's really got all of old Boris's attention right now, because it feels like it's make or break time for the Scott Boris empire.
Well, he's going to stay with Boris. It's more so this, I think. Is Pete Alonso going to switch from Boris because he's going to become a free agent? He's not having like an amazing season. He's having a good year, but not like an amazing one.
Yeah.
The problem is that Boris uses his clients against each other to get the best offer for his best player.
That's big facts.
Like, he's going to be using Pete Alonso against, like, he's going to like try to get Pete Alonso to sign with like another team to like up the offer from the team that he really wants Soto to go to. He does this. And so if I'm Alonso and you're seeing what happened with Montgomery, you're seeing what happened with Chapman
in the air, and it tastes true to my ears, Jesse.
So if you're Alonso, it's like, hey, I kind of just want to, I don't want to be used in that way against Juan Soto, who's clearly going to get the biggest offer of the offseason by far. There's no question about it. It's Yankee fans, to answer your question, they want to write a blank check for this man. They don't care at this point, but I agree with you. You look at that team, they still have a good lineup, but it clearly revolves around Soto and Judge being next to each other, because that just makes the lineup so much deeper. Whereas like when it's just Judge, you can kind of allow yourself to say, hey, I ain't gonna let Judge beat us, even though he still hit 2 homers and he still is producing. It's like,
and he hit like a couple doubles in game 1. I mean, dude,
he has a great game and they still can't score more than a few runs. It's like, hey, you're kind of proving the point here that they need Juan Soto to, like, not just to compete this year, but like to make any sort of significant strides with the Garrett Cole, Aaron Judge era. And
if I may, Jesse, I think we're in a really fun time right now where we see the 2 arguably best teams in baseball. No disrespect to the Phillies or Orioles. I believe it's a clear four-team race now for best.
I think Phillies, Yankees, Dodgers. I would say Phillies might be the best team right now. I'll give them that. They might be the best team right now.
Anyways, but it shows that these 2 behemoth franchises are still flawed and can be beaten and are going to be active at the trade deadline. It is also kind of hilarious how many ex-Dodgers are on the Yankees, especially in their bullpen, Jesse.
I know, it's hilarious.
How many is it? Off the top, I think of Victor Gonzalez, Caleb Ferguson,
Tommy Kahnle,
Dennis Santana.
To be fair, Yankees had Tommy Kahnle first.
To be fair.
But I think there's a reason for that. Teams are trying to reinvent themselves in the Dodgers dominance era and follow the Dodgers footsteps and how they're able to get the most out of these cheaper bullpen arms that are sort of like reclamation projects and turning them into like studs. And so a lot of teams are doing that. So the Yankees are like, hey, the Dodgers saw something in these guys. We're going to see something too. Same thing happened with the Rays, man. Like the Dodgers do the same thing with Rays players. Dodgers will go after former Rays because they know that that front office.
Was
They
Evan
see,
Phillips a former Ray?
that's a good question. He might have been. He might have been a former Ray. Let's look that up. Evan Phillips. His baseball reference page. No, Baltimore. He was on Baltimore. But the Dodgers have done it before, where they've gone after former Rays players. I think that's like a clear
Adam
strategy on the
Kolarek
Yankees'
comes
part.
to mind.
That's why some guy, you make strange bedfellows, right? They've made Dodgers have made trades with the Yankees and the Rays. These are teams that like to work with each other because they actually respect and value the player development of each franchise and how they are, how they
And,
are
bi-coastal buddies, so it's a little bit easier.
Mhm.
Oh, we're not going to see these guys ever again. Real exciting. Last thing I want to talk about on this Yankees Dodgers series, Tyler Glass now start getting moved forward so that he can pitch against the Aaron Judge and the Yankees.
We are talking before his start though, so we're not going to be able to reflect on it. But yeah, it is cool that he gets to pitch in the Bronx.
We'll see if the Dodgers are able to give him any kind of offense. There was some crazy stat about how many games he's pitched without getting a run scored.
I know 5 games in a row, 0 runs of support.
Insane. It does
shut out all. I think those are all of the
stats,
shutouts the Dodgers have this year. Were when he was on the mound.
Doesn't it feel like no way? Really? That's crazy.
Maybe one. Yeah.
Wow.
They've been shut out 5 or 6 times.
Which is again absurd, right? You got these 3 MVPs at the top. You'd think, man, they're scoring 1 million runs a game. But
that's a testament to how bad the bottom half of the lineup has been this year.
But also, real quick, offense is down around the entire league, and OPS league average is under 700.
Especially
the first time, and so I don't know, maybe ever. You got to fact check me, brother.
No, you're right. But, especially in the outfield position, because I know this from fantasy baseball that outfield has been like kind of it's been a bad year for getting good production from outfielders this year. And
except for my boy Teoscar Hernandez.
That's what I wanted to get to. How important he has been for the Dodgers this year. The Yankee, by the way, I think it was the New York Post. I forget who it was.
We've spent so much time talking about the Dodgers.
People are going to be We're done after this. This is the end right here. New York Post posted on the cover, Teoscar the Grouch.
That's pretty good, dude. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yanks have no answer for two.
Yanks have no answers for Hernandez again in second straight loss. 2 homers, hits a grand slam to blow the game open. Basically 2 game-winning performances. Won both games for the Dodgers in New York. And
a guy who took less money to play in LA too, to be on the bigger stage.
$23 million. And I was texting some buddies last night about him.
And he took deferred money as well.
What?
He took deferred money as well. I think like $9 million or something like that was deferred.
Yeah, he did. Teoscar Hernandez is the type of guy that's gonna be a World Series MVP for the Dodgers. Like he is totally a World Series MVP candidate if the Dodgers have the run that they want to have, because he's like kind of like last year's Adolis Garcia for the Rangers. All the focus was on Semien and Seager, and then you got to deal with Adolis. And I feel like that's going to happen with Teoscar Hernandez, where there's going to be so much attention focused on Mookie, Freddie, Shohei, and then Teoscar is going to be there to clean it all up. And he's going to have those big moments, and I could totally see him being like a playoff hero for the Dodgers. That's my take. I can already see it happening. It's going to be Teoscar.
I love that take.
Yeah.
And then
he's going to get a huge contract. We can stop talking Dodgers now, but
yeah, he's going to get some big dollars, big cheddar.
Sorry, that was a long Dodger segment.
It's all good though. That's what the people demand. Another premier series this weekend, the London series, Mets versus Phillies. Game 1, I believe, was a little bit of a rout, right? I think the Phillies really put it on them. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Let's find out right now. I just watched today's game this morning, so it was good. Yeah, it was 7-2 Phillies. You're right. I didn't watch yesterday's game.
Yeah, I thought I was just tripping for a second, but today's game, bit of a nail biter. Jesse,
it was a great game.
Me through it.
It was a great game. I only watched the second half because like it started a little early, so I was I had a few drinks last night, so I got up a little late this morning. But I did watch the end of it. Nick Castellanos grounds into a double. So First off, the Phillies have the bases loaded with 1 out. So, and it's a 1-run game. They have a chance to tie the game in the 9th inning. And Castellanos hits into a 2-3 double play because of a broken bat bleeder right in front of home plate, where the catcher is able to step on home plate and then throw him out at first. It's like one of the most rare double plays you'll ever see in baseball. It's probably the most rare, I would say, out of all of
It's
them.
got to be up there.
And it was other than like maybe an outfielder throwing a guy out at home, maybe is a little bit more rare,
Yeah.
but awesome way to
It
end
was
the
incredible.
game, even though it's like, the Mets, who fucking cares, right? Like but what else I'll say about this? They got to figure out a way to play more than 2 games, because Pete Alonso was talking about this in the post-game interview, and he was like, I loved it here. I wish this was a little bit more. We only played 2 games. It didn't really feel like a series. It kind of just felt like exhibition a little bit, like competitive exhibition. They got to find a way to schedule it where you play more than 2. Because did they do the same thing in Korea? Was that only 2 games?
Yeah, it was just 2 games, and it did feel a little short and weird.
You got to play a full
and it
series.
is a long travel in the middle of a season, so we'll see if it affects either of them. If they have any downturn in play, or well, specifically the Phillies. But I don't know if you heard Darren Fletcher's call, the English announcer at the end of that game.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
That was so good. We needed an English announcer on every broadcast.
It sounded like a Manchester United goal or something. It was so good.
It reminded me of the old horse races, like, and away they go. I love that, dude. Shouts out that.
What a play! Oh my Lord, Ibrahimovic, go! I love that guy. What's that guy's name? The British announcer who did Olympics.
I don't know. You're outing me as an ignorant
Ibrahimovic.
Soccer fan.
English soccer Olympics announcer. I'm gonna look this up really quick.
That was a wild double play, though. That was pretty sick.
It might be Micah Domley or Robbie Earl. Anyways, whatever. It was dope. But yeah, one more game. I think the problem is that they because you have to have like each team gets a home game, I think.
Yeah.
So because you're at a neutral site, so maybe like 3 games they can't do it. I don't know.
Flip a coin, make a thing of it. Do a coin toss.
Make it a controversy. Make it a storyline.
I love it. Give it to me. Give it. You got to have a good payoff.
I do want to go on to one thing here, because we're going to be running out of time here. I don't know how much time you have left, but
talk to me.
Did you see that Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter, Ippei Mizuhara, was delivering Uber Eats?
I did. And you know what my first thought was? I swear to God, Jesse, my first thought was good for you. Good for you. Just getting after it. I hope he's doing it in like a really sick car too. That like he's like, what? I paid it off. It's mine. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's gonna take a long time to pay off that $40 million in debt that he has, or whatever it is that I don't know if he does he even have to pay that debt back if the bookkeeper got shut down.
Sure. Oh, for sure.
But the bookkeeper got shut down. Like, what are you paying it to?
He's gonna get fined something. They're gonna liquidate his assets and take everything they can from him.
Yeah.
Before eventually deporting him back to Japan. But I feel for him. I heard, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I heard he did get banned from Uber Eats and is no longer employed by the company.
Story just broke yesterday. Ippei Mizuhara banned from delivering for Uber Eats. A spokesman for Uber Eats said Mizuhara was a longtime courier for the food delivery app. He's lost his job.
What a long time courier. Wait a minute. So at one point he was moonlighting as Shohei's interpreter and an Uber Eats
That's what it says here. Mizuhara has been an Uber Eats courier for a few years. Given these recent charges, he no longer has access to the platform. And that was my first take, was like, he was delivering Uber Eats while working for Shohei Ohtani. So that does lead me to believe that Shohei is totally in the clear here, because maybe Shohei was skimping him a little bit.
Maybe
that's why he was stealing from him. Maybe he was underpaid. But I heard that he was actually one of the better paid translators. Like, he got like a pretty good year-end stipend or bonus or something. Like, is making like $100,000 towards the end. I don't know, but
I'll say that I did try and do a little door dashing for about a week just to see what I could make, and it was absolute dog shit.
yeah.
So it was like $100 or something. I was like, I'm good, dude. No disrespect to anybody doing it, but they
Yeah,
really
no,
take
no, no.
it. They
It's a
really take
it's a
advantage
needed
of you.
job, by the way. Like people
No,
need
no,
that.
totally. But they really, it's not like they're paying fair wages to their
No, they're
drivers.
not.
It's like, I don't know, get it together a little bit, take care of your drivers. Anyways,
Well, what
that's
they
neither
do is, I
here
know
nor
companies
there.
like that, they like limit the amount of fares you can take too, because then if you get to a certain amount of money, a certain amount of hours, then they have to like give you healthcare and things like that. There's a whole like rigging. It's the same thing as like people who work in retail. They'll limit your
Yeah.
hours to like 25 a week so that they can't give you healthcare.
Yeah. So you're not like a full time. Yeah, it's gross.
Yoza
Or like
17 million.
companies using interns. Anyways.
Yeah, exactly. It could total 17 million is what he owes, more than 1 million to the
Woo!
IRS. But as I'm like going through this, it dawned on me there's gonna be a show. They've already greenlit a show by Lionsgate that this whole drama is going to be put into a movie or a TV show. It's gonna be scripted television of
Man.
the whole Shohei and Ippei drama. Who should play Ippei? Like, should be like John Cho. Who do we got? Who do we got playing Ippei here? Because I feel like it's got to be somebody good. It's got to be a
Man.
really good. Well, I guess Cho. That's a little. He's not Japanese. I feel like that was a little bit racist. I
Yeah,
apologize.
I didn't want to have to cancel
Yeah,
you,
I'm
but
sorry.
I'm
No,
glad
it's
you
just, I'm gonna
self-edited.
cut that. Whoa, that was bad.
Whoa, dude, you're
Who could
nasty.
it be? Japanese actor.
See, I
Yeah.
don't know, but like, I'm just like Ippei, dude. Like, maybe you get some money for his likeness, maybe not. But I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be all garnered by the state and then given to Shohei and whatever federal agencies that are gonna make money off this forever. But seriously, I can't help but feel like there's a little correlation between my man Ippei and former President Donald Trump, dude.
Oh
Just two
wow.
guys who are goofing around a little bit. Didn't mean to get into any trouble. And just everybody's taking it way too seriously. Like, they were just goofs. Top
Well,
secret documents, forging, voice, of a translator of his, client. It's all just a big goops and nobody got hurt, right? It's all good.
yeah. Well,
Let
I
him
will say.
work, let him deliver some groceries,
I'll say
pay
this,
back
but
his debt to society.
right.
And I think just let him and my boy Donnie just get a weekend away. Couple of knuckleheads, they'll make the right choice in
Trump.
the long run.
Trump
Trump
should
and eBay
absolutely
is going to
hire.
be. We should get them. Trump and eBay should go on celebrity rehab with Dr. Drew, gambling addiction, top secret files addiction. I get it. It's fun to share. Who doesn't
I
like
could
showing
see
off a
Ippei.
little bit?
I could see Ippei being Trump's like liaison to Japan. Like that's who he would. He
That
hired
would be awesome.
Scaramucci. He hired Scaramucci to be his like press
That would be
secretary.
awesome. Dude, what if
He was going to
Trump
hire
is
Ippei to be
president,
the
hires
Japanese
eBay,
liaison.
and pardons eBay?
Yeah, right. What if Trump pardons Ippei? That's good. His first. Trump is a Shohei truther. He thinks Ippei is the fall guy.
Dude, I
Yeah.
think you're right.
Yeah. By the way, Ippei, if you're listening to this, if you see this, you should start a podcast, my dude.
You
Start a
should.
podcast. Like I absolutely think people will listen to that. Just
It's
talking about
sponsored
all
by
your crazy sports betting and how you stole all the money. People would
DraftKings.
Yeah, and then DraftKings would absolutely sponsor you. I promise.
Dude, no, you know what eBay should do? Seriously, he should start doing commercials against gambling addiction and try and become the spokesman for
Dude,
anti-gambling.
perfect. That's your way back in, dude. That's your way back in.
He
But
got
he
to
is
call
gonna
Harvey Levin
Yeah.
and he's got to schedule a sit-down interview, a tell-all with TMZ Sports. And, just he's got to tell a story.
Problem is, I imagine he signed some form of an NDA in all of this, like something.
Hold on, did he sign it or did his translator sign it? You know?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But I want to just really
Plot
quick.
twist, dude.
Yeah, before we move on, I want to just talk about this show apparently because I'm just reading about it right now. This show about this. The series will follow the story of the most exciting player in Major League Baseball, a star pitcher and hitter in the mold of Babe Ruth. Ohtani's meteoric rise and blah, 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 carefully guarded persona collided with a 10-year, $700 million deal. The Dodgers, so I'm sorry. I lost where it was.
Whoa,
So, okay.
You Mitch McConnell me again.
The biggest
dude.
contract in American sports team history. Just months later, and only a day into the 2024 season, news broke that Mizuhara stole $17 million.
That's a spicy meatball every time you hear that 17 mil.
I know. So there's no details yet, but it's supposed to follow in the days of that story breaking. So it's going to be like a mystery kind of thing. I think that's what I'm reading into that. It's going to be like a mystery of like, did he steal it? Did he not? That's sort of how they're going to play, because it's in the days.
Well, I hope the casting is as good as the Clippers.
Yeah.
I can't believe they made a show about a Clippers team that just got bounced out of the like divisionals like every
Ed
year.
O'Neill as Donald Sterling, right? It's Al Bundy as Donald Sterling.
Donald Sterling did not like me, let me tell you, one bit.
Oh, he didn't like me either.
I got him and V a couple times out and about.
Oh, V Stiviano.
Yeah, before that whole thing broke.
Right.
But yeah, that's a story for another day.
It's because you're
a couple things I wanted to touch on just because time is of the essence.
Yeah.
Cavan Biggio, 29-year-old infield outfielder, has been playing outfield predominantly the last few years. DFA'd from the Toronto Blue Jays. Jesse, my opinion, the Baby Jays era is dead.
Agreed.
It's over. It's done. Vladdy's been playing great as of late, but with the departure of Cavan, it feels like the inevitable fire is kind of around the corner. It's a fire sale around the corner.
They got to. We'll speed through this. They got to trade Bo Bichette. They just got to move him.
I'm starting to think that the Dodgers might be real players for
possible
Bo Bichette. Just with the stagnant play of Gavin Lux, doesn't feel like you could see him playing in the postseason. But please continue.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think that he's absolutely a trade candidate, if not to the Dodgers, but another contender.
I was saying the Braves on the last pod. I really see them making a move for I just blanked at his name, Bo Bichette. Sorry.
Yeah. And then maybe extending Vladdy and building around him is something that I could see the Blue Jays doing. But yeah, they're done. They are dead. They are dead on arrival. Also, Alek Manoah out for the year with Tommy John surgery or elbow reconstructive surgery, UCL surgery. So
yeah, another heartbreak. Yeah, so we'll see where the pieces of the Baby Jays eras, Blue Jays move around. But in a feel-good side of Blue Jays baseball, former Oakland A's pitcher, current Toronto Blue Jay pitcher, Chris Bassitt, after his last start at the Coliseum, reached down to the mound and filled his pocket with some dirt from the Coliseum, saying to the effect that he doesn't know if he'll ever be here again. Heartbreaking, but it does go to show you again how important this iconic stadium and city has been to these players. Then you look around the league, he mentioned them, but from Marcus Semien to Blake Trinan to, himself to, Jesse, help me out. I know there's former A's all over the league that are stars.
I mean, Matt Chapman,
Matt Olson.
Yeah. Any one of them, basically, a lot of those guys, they do have especially because a lot of the former A's that are playing right now were on those A's teams that were actually good.
Yeah.
Where you got to see how much the fan base really rallied around them in that stadium, which was always a dump. Like they always had like plumbing issues and things like that. But that was the charm of the Coliseum, was that it was a dump, but they really had a rabid fan base that really rallied around the team when they were good. And, it's sad if I think you're going to be seeing that a lot towards the end of the year. I would imagine at the end of the season, we're going to be seeing a lot of moments like that where you'll see some pitchers or former A's, showing their appreciation for the franchise, a historic franchise that has won multiple World Series, that has been a part of baseball history. And I'm hoping that the fans might show up at the end. just for like the final few games, even though I know that they've been boycotting it. I know, and for good reason. Like they should.
For great reasons. I'm with the fans in the
I-
city of Oakland on this one.
I hope that they show up and just support the team like one last time at the end of the
Me
year
too.
when it's all said and done. So
Yeah, it's a historic franchise. Top 3 unis in baseball all time. Anyways,
it's probably one of the best unis. You're right. I agree. But if they go to Vegas, I was saying this before, I don't think that they should have the A's unis anymore. I think they got to do something new. It would just be too
got to do
weird.
something new.
Las
And
Vegas
they're
A's.
petitioning to play 10% of their games in different markets.
So stupid.
Who wants
So
to see
stupid.
a team? I don't know. Never mind. We'll get to that another episode. But
Yeah, what is that? They're doing 10% of
they're trying to use it as like an expansion thing to try and bring the MLB to new markets. But who wants to see a team that the owner hasn't invested in a lineup in or facilities in or even a field in by that time a decade? So I don't know.
That's dumb.
That's neither here nor there. But Jesse, this has been another full service edition of Deferred Collusion. We've touched on this. We've touched on that. It felt real good. Just like it should.
Thank you for taking the lead on this episode.
It's been a blast.
You carried me a little bit today.
It was a blast. I hope you feel great. I know you got an anniversary right around the corner. Congratulations to you and the missus.
8 years.
Tell her we love her.
Yep.
And yeah, dude, we'll do this soon. I love you, big guy. Deferred Collusion. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that crap.
Yeah, and if there are any topics you want us to talk about, let us know. I mean, I meant to mention that last time. Please let us know in the comments if there are any topics that you want us to discuss.
We take requests.
Yes, we do.
Anyways, until next
financial gain.
We'll see you.